Welcome back, fellow shop rats. When it comes to doing paint and body work day after day, sometimes I feel like I'm in a Dunkin' Donuts commercial. Make the donuts. I made the donuts. Make the donuts. I made the donuts. There's a kind of a funny story behind that. Maybe I'll share with you after the show intro. Today we're back on the 86 Dodge truck getting ready to go to the next steps to get this thing ready to paint. Let's watch the show intro. We'll be back in 5 seconds. You don't have to go away. I'll be right back. I'm Mike. And
this is My Cars Shop.
in our last episode, which I believe was last Sunday, I'm kind of a little gray on when these things are coming out, but I think it was. Anyway, in our last episode, we spent a lot of time getting this fender prepped and ready. There's a little teeny bit of work to do here yet, but other than that, it's good. We peeled all of that tape off the roof. We got this area back in here ready to rock and roll, and we were starting to work our way down that side when we just ran out of time. So today we're going to get over on that side of the truck, and we're going to continue on with getting this fender ready. Remember, there's a bunch of work down in here that we need to do, and we've got some work to do back up in here. My goal today would be to get this done and get some 2K primer out and get some fill prime put on there for some of the final sanding. Remember, this is a work truck. It's not a show truck. We're just doing a quick and dirty paint job. Can we paint a truck for under 500 bucks? So that's the context here. So I think what I'll do is I'll start back here, which is where I left off, and we'll just continue on down, work our way forward until we get up there, and well, we'll see how it goes. That's just a minor dent in here. Remember, we can't get at the backside, and I'm not going to spend hours trying to pull that. So we're just going to put a little coat of tiger hair on that. I think the rest of this is pretty good. We'll just need to DA it down. We're probably not going to get back here today, but we do need to take a look at all of this, as I mentioned last time as well. But yeah, here, down, and forward is what we're doing. Not trying to get carried away. That probably will do that. Hopefully. If we need to put another layer on, we will, but remember, we're going to be putting a layer of Bondo on over the top of that. This is tiger hair, which is basically fiberglass reinforced Bondo. I think the next place to start is right up in here. We've got a bunch of tape. Imagine that, there's tape. I think we're going to drop the antenna out of there too. Really the only things impeding us from doing a really nice job here is the antenna and those lights. So we'll go ahead and do those. This stuff is gummy. Here's the joy of picking up where somebody else left off. I suspect that's a trim hole, and they didn't weld them shut, so that's nice. I gotta decide if I'm gonna do the right thing and weld it, because I'm sure there are others, or am I gonna just do what they did. Our welder's right here. I guess I might as well go ahead and weld it, which means I gotta grind that down a little bit. I'm not gonna mess with the others because they're not blistering through, but I can't in good conscience just throw tiger hair over that. So unfortunate, but we'll get her done. It's all welded up. I just got to grind it down now, and it'll be good. So I'm sure there are other ones in here, but they're not blistering. Again, for the context of a work truck that's fast and dirty, I'm not going to mess with it. You know, that's not the instructions that we have for this truck. It's just get it done quick. And so please again understand the context of what we're doing here. This is a cheap and dirty. There we go. Just a little mud on that, it'll be fine. Doesn't even really feel like it needs any, but there's a couple little pits, of course, and we're not going for perfect, we're going for done. So, all good. All right, let me go get a little up, and we'll... Thought we would just give you a little closer up view of it. Good enough. Yes, there's a little bit of welder burn in there. I don't care about that. It's good and solid. It gives me a good base for my tiger hair. Again, quick and dirty. Get her done. We'll sand that out, and we may have to put a little, 99% or 90% of that's going to come off of there. And we may have to put a little regular Bondo over it. But quite frankly, it was so close to being smooth as it was. It almost could have been done just with fill primer. But we're going to go ahead and do it the right way, even though we're not doing it the right way. Because, do as I do, don't, or do as I do. Never mind, just don't do. Just do your thing. Do your thing, and I'll do my thing. So I've got my big rocks on here. It's 40 grit. Just going to take this tiger hair down and get it flat. Oh yeah. I do kind of want to worry about my ear bowls a little bit. There we go. Saw that I had a huge pile of mud in there. This is almost undetectable now. It's a little bit low in there, but I'm going to go over it with a little bit of regular Bondo. But you saw me when I was sanding, and I wanted to point that out, as I was working up here real hard and then working down here real hard before I got into flattening it out, because I knew I was high out here and I knew I was high here, and waste a lot of time trying to just sand the whole thing flat, when I knew if I got this flat, then that center would go down and be flat a lot faster. So it's just experience from 30-40 years of doing this kind of stuff. But if we were to paint over that right now, it would be virtually undetectable. So we're going to just put a little bit of regular Bondo over the top of that, just to give us a little more smoothing out. It's almost a little high right there. Yep, it is. I'm going to take my hammer and just a little teeny bit right there. The reason I like this hammer is because it can move larger areas of metal without causing dents, as long as you use it right. So 2 different ends. You never use these hammers for anything other than sheet metal work. You start scoring up these faces and it'll start putting dents and stuff, creases and scratches in the metal, and we don't want that. So, but I'm just going to go here real gently, hardly any tapping at all. Wow. Yep, that will come out in the primer actually, but I still want to go over it with some regular Bondo, so I'll be right back. As I was just mixing up the Bondo, I was thinking about something that a lot of people, most of you guys probably don't do this kind of work for customers, but there's always a context, and you've heard me say a million times, it's not just the text you get from your relatives in prison. But if you're going to do this stuff for other people, especially, well, this only applies if you're doing it for other people, but I just want you to understand context, as I said. Your job is not to give the customer what you want, it's to give the customer what the customer wants. And that may mean you're going to do some things that aren't necessarily what you would want how you would want to do them or whatever. But when you're doing this for money, you got to give the customer what they're asking for, or don't do the job. And there's jobs I definitely have turned down that the customer wanted it done a specific way I wasn't comfortable with. I rarely do any customer work anymore at all. The only reason I'm doing this is to help out a buddy, and this helps buy some parts for some of the other projects here in the shop. So it's kind of a deal that works out good for everybody, and so forth, and I wanted to help him out. But point being, it's not about what I want or whatever. It's about, if you're being paid to do a $300 job and you do a $3,000 job, you're wasting your time and money. So our issue here now is down here. It's really rough, and it's got high spots. I think there's a big dent in there. First thing I'm gonna do is go after this with the 36 grit or the 40 grit and just flatten it out and see what we're dealing with. I may just grind that out so I can see if we need to do some metal work in there as far as hammering and dowling, because it looks to me like it's got high spots here and here, and I just want to flatten it out a little bit and see what we're dealing with. I need to make a decision. Am I going to grind that back out, or am I going to just try to straighten it out? It's just got a few little high spots, so the first thing I'm going to do is take my hammer and just go in here and see what we can do. Oil canning. I'm gonna have to grind that down and start over again. It sucked itself in, so we got to fix that. All right, let's grind it out. We've got a little bit of oil canning, but it's better. But see, right there. So I was able to hammer some of it out. So I'm going to put some heat around here with the grinder and see if maybe we can get that to tighten up a little bit. We'll see. I don't really want to have to cut a piece out of here, but this was not done right before. It was beat on from behind, and oof, not good, not good. So we'll see. We'll get it. Bunch of hammer and dolly work. It's got a little low spot there, but the oil canning is all gone. I was able to shrink this out here and get that to suck out. Then I had a little high spot in here, right in here, that I had to peen down. I don't think we're going to be able to get that out of there. It's pretty minor, but I think we'll just put a coat of tiger hair over that and call it good. But we should be in fine shape now, so hopefully. I don't feel anything else in there. So again, quick and dirty. If I was doing a show job, we would have probably just cut a piece in here and replaced all of that, but not worth it for what we're doing on this. We've got a layer of tiger hair down. We'll sand that down, and then again, 75-80% of that will be gone. It'll fill in the low spot, and then we'll go over it with some regular Bondo. The tiger hair just gives it a little more strength. I always like to lay a layer of that down before I put mud on. It's less likely to crack. All right, that's sanded down. some runs in there, but it's fine. It'll shrink up again. This is just etching primer anyway to stick good to the bare metal before we put the urethane on. So I haven't DA'd all this down yet, so I can't do that yet with some etch, but we'll get that done soon. All of this down here. I got that sanded down. So that looks good. There's just a little teeny spot in there, nothing much. We'll block that out with the spotting of the 2K that I'm going to put on. So we just have that spot up there to finish now. Just waiting for that to tack up a little bit more. It's getting there, but if I started sanding that right now, it would be a problem. So I'm just going to wait, let it harden up a little bit more, and then we'll go from there. While we're waiting for that, I'm going to go ahead and pull the antenna off and get those two front lights out, hopefully. That's my plan. Oh yeah, I can reach them right from the inside. Right down there, we'll pop those out real quick. Easy peasy, cheesy squeezy. Lights are out. Antenna's out. You can tell somebody tried to take that antenna out. They had no idea what they were doing because the wire on the back side, it was twisted up like a pretzel, just all around and around and around. It was crazy. So all good. So now I'm going to go ahead and start sanding on this here. Very good. One little teeny low spot right there, but we're going to hit that with some regular mud anyway, so much better. Much better. Some thin Bondo over that now, and we'll sand that down and hopefully be good. Oops, I got a little carried away. I see I got it dripped away over the body line. I better grab that while it's still wet. Hang on. Much better. So hopefully that's going to not take another coat after that. I don't think it will, but it looks good. I think that's the last major repair that we have to do on this part of the truck. So I'm going to wait for that to dry and then make some decisions about what I'm doing next. So while we were waiting for that to dry, I went through and touched up all the spots of bare metal. Gave it a quick coat of etch. We didn't do anything with that yet, but that's okay. Got this done back here now. A bunch more runs. I'm putting it on too heavy. I know that's the issue. It doesn't matter. It shrinks up. We're going to sand it off, and then we're going to put 2K over the top of it anyway. So if it's on a little heavy, that's better. It'll stick better. So just waiting for that to finish drying there, and then we'll get that sanded down. Hopefully that'll be it. Just like that. Still a little teeny low spot. We'll hit that with the 2K, and we'll take a look at it. If we need to run a little glaze over the top of that, we can. Got another run in there. What the heck brand paint that is? Exalta something or another. I've not used this before, so it's obviously a lot thinner than the stuff I'm used to. I used to usually use a Nason. I don't know Exalta who this is. I have to think about that. Maybe it is a Nason and they changed the name. I don't know. I don't think so though. No, I'm sure it's not. Anyway, good enough. Let that dry. Probably scuff it down just a little teeny bit. But yeah, you can see we've got a little bullseye in there, which means it probably has got just a little bit of a low spot. But I've got some polyester primer. Maybe I'll take a look at that and think about hitting these spots with that. You never know what I'm going to do. You know, it'll be something. Well, that's definitely some progress. I'm going to ponder this a while. I can't shoot anything on this for, 6 to 8 hours anyway. It's got to dry real good before I put something over it. Otherwise, it'll trap those solvents in there, and then sand scratches could show up later, or we could get solvent pop through, or stuff like that. So that's as far as I'm going to be able to go with that right now. Plus, it's snowing out, and if I'm going to really start getting heavy duty with spray guns, I don't want the Oakland in here, but I don't really want to put it out in the snow unless I absolutely have to. So one step at a time. It's all good. It's definitely good progress, that's for sure. I sat here pondering for a while, and I realized that, working 7 days a week, I do need to take a break once in a while. So I'm going to knock off for today and just try to chill for a couple of hours. And I got to get some lunch and things like that anyway. But I need that to dry, and that'll give me time to think about whether I'm going to put the polyester, which is basically a spray Bondo. I'm pretty sure I have a can of that over there. And of course I have the 2K as well. That's a high build also. It doesn't build as high as 2K. I may spot those spots on those fenders and in the cab with the polyester. We'll see. I don't know. So, but I got time because I can't do anything right now anyway until that stuff all dries. So we're good to go. We're over on the Face thing, / My Car Shop. We're on Instagram. She loves us and gives us cookies and, you know, all that stuff. We're here on YouTube. And the biggest thing you could do is just share our videos with other people that you think might be interested. Ask your friends to subscribe. We're at just shy of 1,600 subs right now. By the time you see this, I'm sure we'll be closer to 17. I would love to hit 2,000 subs here real fast, just because I like seeing the channel grow, and the more the channel grows, the more revenue that provides, the more things we can do here around the shop. All right, that'll do it.
One more thing.
Don't forget.
It's important.
Rock!